Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
Alright everybody, here's my friend Alan, and Alan is Alan's my host here, and I know Alan because Alan used to have a place called Zin Zero in Canada, and now he's living in Australia, and I'm staying with Alan and Janet, his wife, and Alan and Janet used to live in Papua New Guinea.
That's right.
And on a cacao farm.
Yep.
Okay, why don't you tell them a little about that?
Okay, well I was just happened to be working there in Papua New Guinea, and we came across a friend who we worked for a year or two. So we were there when the local people harvested the cacao pods, and then they opened them up and fermented them. And when they did that, they have a big fire, so they actually ferment the pods and then dry them over a warm fire.
So how warm is the actual fire?
From memory, it got pretty hot. They had a whole bunch of coconut husks down in a big pit, which they fired up, and the cacao was on top of that. Definitely
hot enough to be considered cooked.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now, would you say all people that ferment cacao do it that way, or?
I think so. This is going back 20 years, but I believe it would still be done the same.
So what were people doing with the raw carob pods 20 years ago?
They were just making it into chocolate. Mainly the big plantations just made it into the cocoa nibs, and then they sent that away somewhere to be made into chocolate.
20 years ago they were doing that?
Yep. Yep. But this wasn't raw chocolate. This went to Cadbury's and Nestles and places like that.
Where'd it go?
It went to the big factories in the States, like Cadbury's and Nestles.
I see. So what about the raw chocolate? Do you think it's possible that people can get raw chocolate?
Well, the beans are processed. They have to be processed. So I'm not sure what degree. You know.
Well, what do you mean processed?
Well, they have to be dried. Like the cocoa nib in its natural state is a sort of quite a sloppy sort of a seed. So it has to be fermented a little and then dried.
Why does it have to be fermented?
Well, I'm not sure. I know that's just the process that goes through, the process of fermentation.
But they can dry seeds at low temperature.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at the time we just did what everyone was doing, so I don't really know that much about it.
And you owned Zin Zero, which was a very successful raw food restaurant community center up in Canada.
That's right.
What was your experience with people and raw chocolate in general?
We went through a stage where we ate a bit of raw chocolate, and it was when you're doing the transition thing, it's something nice and sweet that you can eat. But we've discovered that it does contain a lot of caffeine, so it is really a very powerful stimulant.
Did you ever run into anyone that had an issue consuming the cacao?
Yeah, we did. A few people seemed to be a bit edgy and a bit sort of jumpy, they had consumed a lot of chocolate.
And do you currently consume chocolate?
Not anymore, no.
Okay. And what's your overall opinion of the chocolate now in general? Do you consider it a health food?
No, not really. No, I would definitely say it's not a health food.
Okay, do you think it's an okay occasional food, or people should avoid it completely?
I don't have it anymore myself, but I have some friends that have a little bit now and again. But personally myself, I wouldn't eat it.
Great. Now, what about, since you've seen so many raw fooders come through your restaurant when you were in Canada, in general, what did you see people doing that did work?
Well, green smoothies. Green smoothies are very, very popular. Wheatgrass juice. I still grow wheatgrass juice here. We sell it frozen, and I'm sure that's a very beneficial thing. Goes back a long way with Anne Whitmore. So green smoothies, wheatgrass juice, raw juices, and then just good green leafy salads.
And now here you are in Australia, and now that you're in Australia, you still have a website. What's your website?
Yeah, our website is Raw Can Cure. It's RAWCANCURE.
And that's .com.au?
.com.
Is
Just .com.
Okay, rawcancure.com.
Yeah, that's right.
And what can we see on your website?
My wife has made a very nice website, and she helps people with journeys through health. If people need to be instructed about the right foods and nutrition, my wife does that online. She has an e-book. We have courses here in Melbourne where we instruct people about raw food preparation. And we have a magazine, the Get Fresh, which we're the agents for here in Australia. So we bring these in from the UK. Paul Neeson is featured once or twice in this very magazine.
Great, and you're helping us assist in my event here in Melbourne, Australia, and you assist with other events as well?
We do, yep. We've had some famous people here, Paul and
others, yeah.
Others, yeah.
Wonderful. And is there any message you have to anyone out there interested in a raw food diet or just healthy lifestyle in general that you'd like to share right now?
Well, it is wonderful. I never thought, I come from a long line of eating fast food and being a raging carnivore. I never thought that I could survive on raw food, but at the moment I'm actually thriving on raw food. I'm 64 years old, still keep a very active life. I have a job and I still find time to run and keep fit. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, have you've read some of my books before, right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, when I first met Paul, it must be 5 or 6 years ago when we first met Paul, and over the years I've read all of his books. Yeah, very.
You haven't read
quite a story to tell.
You haven't read the new one, The Daylight Diet, yet?
I have not. No, I'm going to learn about that tomorrow.
Wonderful. Okay, and finally, the last question is, what are your plans for the future? What are your plans for the future here with health and being here in Australia? Do you have any future new projects coming up or anything?
No, we're going to continue doing lifestyle courses. We do plan to go up north, in the Noosa, Brisbane, Queensland area, and do some workshops up there. That'll be happening in our winter here, so the next month or two. That's about it, really.
But everyone check out their website, rawcancure.com. And if you're in Australia, you definitely have to look them up. Their contact information is on their website. Until then, everybody, this is Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show saying have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw life, brighten